Unit 4, Coach's Interference, Umpire Interference, Game Preliminaries, and Substitutions. Defensive interference, an act by a fielder which hinders or prevents a batter from hitting a pitch. The batter becomes a runner and is entitled to first base without liability to be put out, provided he advances to and touches first base when c. the catcher or any fielder interferes with him. If a play follows the interference, the manager of the offense may advise the plate umpire that he elects to decline the interference penalty and accept the play. Such election shall be made immediately at the end of the play. However, if the batter reaches first base on a hit, an error, a base on balls, a hits batsman, or otherwise, and all runners advance at least one base, the play proceeds without reference to the interference. 7.04. Each runner, other than the batter, may without liability to be put out advance one base when d. he is attempting to steal a base, the batter is interfered with by the catcher or any other fielder. Note: when a runner is entitled to a base without liability to be put out, while the ball is in play, or under any rule in which the ball is in play, or under any rule in which the ball is in play after the runner reaches the base to which he is entitled, and the runner fails to touch the base to which he is entitled before attempting to advance to the next base, the runner shall forfeit his exemption from liability to be put out, and he may be out by tagging the base or by tagging the runner before he returns to the missed base. 7.07. If, with a runner on third base and trying to score by means of squeeze play or steal, the catcher or any other fielder steps on or in front of home base without the possession of the ball or touches the batter or his bat, the pitcher shall be charged with a balk, the batter shall be awarded first base on the interference, and the ball is dead. 7.09H. In the judgment of the umpire, the base coach at third or first base, by touching or holding the runner, physically assists him in running to or leaving third base or first. Reason why: physically assists, ball is live and in play. 5.09. The ball is dead, runners advance one base or return to their base. B. The plate umpire interferes with the catcher's throw. Runners may not advance. F. A fair ball touches a runner or an umpire on fair territory before it touches an infielder, including the pitcher, or touches an umpire before it has passed an infielder other than the pitcher. Award: batter runner advances to first. Any other runner stays where they are unless forced to advance. D. A fair ball touches an umpire or a runner on fair territory before touching a fielder. If a fair ball touches an umpire after having passed a fielder other than the pitcher, or having touched a fielder including the pitcher, the ball is in play and live. No dead ball or awards given. 3.10A. The manager of the home team shall be the sole judge as to whether a game shall be started because of unsuitable weather conditions or the unfit condition of the playing field, except for the second game of the doubleheader. Exception: any league may permanently authorize its president to suspend the application of this rule to that league during the closing weeks of its championship season in order to assure that championship is decided each year on its merits. 3.01. Before the game begins, the umpire shall a. require strict observance of all rules governing implements of play and equipment of players. B. Be sure that all playing lines are marked with lime, chalk, or other white material easily distinguishable from the ground or grass. C. Receive from the home club a supply of regulation baseballs, the number and make to be certified to the home club by the league president. The umpire shall inspect the baseballs and ensure they are regulation baseballs and that they are properly rubbed so that the gloss is removed. The umpire shall be the sole judge of the fitness of the balls to be used in the game. D. Be assured by the home club that at least 12 regulation reserve balls are immediately available for use if required. E. Have in his possession at least 2 alternate balls and shall require replenishment of such supply of alternate balls as needed throughout the game. Such alternate balls shall be put in play when 1. A ball has been batted out of the playing field or into spectator areas. 2. A ball has become discolored or unfit for further use. Or 3. The pitcher requests such alternate ball. F. Ensure that an official rosin bag is placed on the ground behind the pitcher's plate prior to the start of each game. 3.03. A player or players may be substituted during a game at any time the ball is dead. A substitute player shall bat in the replaced player's position in the team's batting order. A player once removed from the game shall not re-enter that game. If the substitute enters the game in the place of a player manager, the manager may thereafter go to the coaching lines at his discretion. When 2 or more substitute players of the defensive team enter the game at the same time, the manager shall, immediately before they take their positions as fielders, designate to the umpire-in-chief such players' positions in the team's batting order, and the umpire shall so notify the official scorer. If this information is not immediately given to the umpire-in-chief, he shall have the authority to designate the substitute's place in the batting order. 3.09. Players in uniform shall not address or mingle with spectators, nor sit in the stands before, during, or after the game. No manager, coach, or player shall address any spectator before or during a game. Players of opposing teams shall not fraternize at any time while in uniform. 4.01. Unless the home club shall have given previous notice that the game has been postponed or will be delayed in starting, the umpire or umpires shall enter the playing field 5 minutes before the hour set for the game to begin and proceed directly to home base, where they shall be met by the managers of the opposing teams. In sequence: A. First, the home manager shall give his batting order to the umpire-in-chief in duplicate. B. Next, the visiting manager shall give his batting order to the umpire-in-chief in duplicate. C. The umpire-in-chief shall make certain that the original and copies of the respective batting orders are identical, and then tender a copy of each batting order to the opposing manager. The copy retained by the umpire shall be the official batting order. The tender of the batting order by the umpire shall establish the batting orders. Thereafter, no substitutions shall be made by either manager except as provided in the rules. D. As soon as the home team's batting order is handed to the UIC, the umpires are in charge of the playing field from that moment. They shall have the sole authority to determine when a game shall be called, suspended, or resumed on account of weather or the condition of the playing field. 3.13. The manager of the home team shall present to the umpire-in-chief and the opposing manager any ground rules he thinks is necessary, covering the overflow of spectators upon the field, batted or thrown balls into such overflow, or any other contingencies. If these rules are acceptable to the opposing manager, they shall be legal. If these rules are unacceptable to the opposing manager, the UIC shall make and enforce any special ground rules he thinks are necessary by ground conditions, which shall not conflict with the official playing rules. 3.03 Comment. A pitcher may change to another position only once during the same inning. For example, the pitcher will not be allowed to assume a position other than a pitcher more than once in the same inning. Any player other than a pitcher substituted for an injured player shall be allowed 5 warm-up throws. 3.04. A player whose name is on his team's batting order may not become a substitute runner for another member of his team. 3.05a. The pitcher named in the batting order handed to the umpire-in-chief as provided in rules 4.01a and 4.01b shall pitch to the first batter or any substitute batter until such batter is out or reaches first base, unless that pitcher sustains an injury or illness. If the pitcher is replaced, the substitute pitcher shall pitch to the batter then at bat or any substitute batter until such batter is put out or reaches first base, or until the offensive team is put out, unless the substitute pitcher sustains injury or illness. C. If an improper substitution is made for the pitcher, the umpire shall direct the proper pitcher to return to the game until provisions of this rule are fulfilled. If the improper pitcher is permitted to pitch, any play that results is legal. the improper pitcher becomes the proper pitcher as soon as he makes his first pitch to the batter, or as soon as any runner is put out. 3.06. The manager shall immediately notify the umpire-in-chief of any substitutions and shall state to the umpire-in-chief the substitutions placed in the batting order. 3.07. The umpire-in-chief, after having been notified, shall immediately announce or cause to be announced each substitution. 3.08. A. If no announcement of a substitution is made, the substitute shall be considered as having entered the game when 1. If a pitcher, he takes his place on the pitcher's plate. 2. If a batter, he takes his place in the batter's box. 3. If a fielder, he reaches the position usually occupied by the fielder he has replaced and play commences. 4. If a runner, he takes the place of the runner he replaced. B. Any play made by or on any of the above-mentioned unannounced substitutes shall be illegal. 8.06. A professional league shall adopt the following rule pertaining to the visit of the manager or coach to the pitcher. This rule limits the number of trips a manager or coach may take to any one pitcher in one inning. B. A second trip to the same pitcher in the same inning will cause this pitcher's automatic removal. C. The manager or coach is prohibited from making a second visit to the mound while the same batter is at bat, but D. If a pinch hitter is substituted for this batter, the manager or coach may make a second visit to the mound, but must remove the pitcher. A manager or coach is considered to have concluded his visit to the mound when he leaves the 18-foot circle surrounding the pitcher's rubber. 4.04. The batting order shall be followed throughout the game unless a player is substituted for another. In that case, the substitute shall take the place of the replaced player in the batting order. 6.01a. Each player of the offensive team shall bat in the order that his name appears in the team's batting order. B. The first batter in each inning after the first inning shall be the player whose name follows that of the last player who legally completed his time at bat in the preceding inning.